This is a webinar on APRE lifting. APRE stands for Auto-Regulated Progressive Resistance Exercise. All it is a method of determining what kind of weights you are going to be using, whether you should be going up in weights or lower in weights, and it's just based on your performance. So it allows you to progress at your own rate. Some people progress faster, some people progress slower, but it's all based on how you do. And it's been proven to work better at improving strength than traditional overloading, where you would already sort of pick a weight that you're going to be using and then just arbitrarily adding 10 pounds per week, for example. That might be too much overload for some people, and it might be not enough for other people. So if we base it on our performance, like I'll show you, then it is a bit more personalized, and the program is adapted to you rather than forcing you to adapt to the program. So for today, just as an example, for the particular program that we're going to use, this would be an example program, but we're only going to be using the APRE style of loading, which I'll describe here shortly. For the deadlift, where we're doing 4 sets of 3 on one day, and then on the next day for the lift B, we'd be using a front squat for 4 sets of 6. All the other lifts, you can just kind of progress as you normally would by adding as you go along. But in this example, again, for the front squat on the second day and the deadlift for the first day, we'll be going over how to load those specifically. So first of all, the lifts, I mean, every exercise program is only as good as your technique on these particular lifts. So because we're sort of going at it in this aggressive style where we're able to sort of increase weight, we just can't get too carried away. I mean, first and foremost, our technique has to be there. We're going to failure on a couple sets, like I'll go over in a minute, but we have to make sure that the lifts are done properly. So here's a couple of good examples of what a good front squat is going to look like. Again, maybe not everyone's going to be able to get down to this depth, but we're at least going to be getting to parallel and then coming up with our hips coming up at the same time as our shoulders. Our hips aren't shooting up before our shoulders. Same thing with the deadlifts. A lot of times we're going to see like our hips are going to come up before our shoulders. So I put together some webinars specifically on how to deadlift, but again, we just have to make sure that we're lifting properly, because this technique of how to progress weights is useless unless we lift the weights properly in the first place. So what it looks like here is we can do this APRE style for 3 different types of lifts. We can either do it for a 3 rep max protocol. So if you remember from the program, we're going to do deadlifts for 4 sets of 3. So that would be our 3 rep protocol. For our front squats, we're going to be doing 6 reps. So we're going to use this column here. And then there's also a 10 rep protocol for hypertrophy, which we won't be doing today, but this is how it's done. So for example, if we picked our front squat for our 6 RM, what we would be doing is, let's say we're using a front squat of 150 pounds. That's where we're going to start. The first week of any program is always trying to figure out kind of what weights we're going to start at. So let's say we're starting with 150 pounds. That's where we think what our 6 RM. So like, what's the maximum amount of weight that we can do for 6 RM? Usually you see 1 RM, everyone knows that, kind of 1 rep max, but here we're talking about a 6 rep max. So if we're picking 150, what we're going to do for set 1 is we're going to take 50% of that, which is 75 pounds, and we're going to do that for 10 reps. We would go do the other exercises that accompany this exercise when you go back to the program, but just for the front squats, we're doing 50% of our reps, 50% of our 6 RM for 10 reps as a warm-up set. The second set, we're going to take 75% of that weight, and we're going to do 6 reps. So again, not a very killer weight, but again, it's still a warm-up set like we should be doing anyway. And then for set 3, we're going to pick 100% of our 6 RM, so 150 pounds. We're going to do 150 pounds, so that's 100% of our intensity for 6 reps, and we're going to do that to failure. So again, technical failure. They have to be good reps. They can't be bad reps. But I want to see if you can do 150 pounds for even more than 6 reps. So if you get to 6 reps and you can keep going, then you're going to keep going. You're going to go to failure. We're just picking this weight. For the 4th set, we're going to adjust the load, which we'll talk about in 1 second, and then again, we're going to do that to failure. So basically, we're doing 2 hard sets in set 3 and set 4. If we're doing our deadlifts, same type of idea. We're going to take 50%. Let's say we're doing a 300-pound deadlift. That's what our 3RM. That's the most weight that we can do for three reps. So we would take 150 pounds of that as warm up. We do 6 reps. The second set, we do 75% of our 300 pounds again. We're going to do just 3 reps of that. And we would do 300 pounds for as many reps as we can with good technique. If we can go past 3, great. If we can't get 3, then we'll adjust. And that's where set 4 comes in. So how do we adjust here? And this is where this chart comes in here. So we'll pick the 6RM protocol here again. So on set 3, if this column here determines how many is how many reps you got. So let's say we had our 150-pound front squat, and let's say we got only 2 reps. We had bad sleep, or whatever it was, but we're having a bad day. We got 0 to 2 reps. We'll say we got 2 reps. The next set, when we go to set 4, the adjustment, we'd have to subtract approximately 10 pounds. I always use these numbers as how much weight we're taking off per side of the bar. So we're going to subtract approximately 20 pounds. And then that's the amount of weight that you would use for your 4th set. Okay? If we got between 3 to 4 reps, we're going to take off 5 pounds per side. If we got anywhere between 5 and 7 reps, again, we're going for 6 reps, that we're using a weight that we think we can only do 6 times. So if we get either 1 below or 1 above or 6 right on there, we're not going to change the weight at all for set 4. Now if we go above and beyond because we're having a good day or whatever it is, we're just getting stronger, this is where we want to be. We're going to be adding 5 pounds per side. And if we just knock it out of the park and we get 13 or more, then we're adding 15 per side. Again, this one and this one don't happen very often, especially if we're using a weight that we think we can do well. But every once in a while, they happen. So again, how you do on set 3 is going to determine how you do on set 4. And what you do on set 4 then becomes your new 6 rep protocol, 6 rep maximum, and then that's the number you're going to be using for the next week. Hopefully that makes sense. So jumping over to the 3 rep protocol, same idea. If we get 0, if we can't even lift the bar off the ground for set number 4, we got to take 20 pounds off per side. If we only get 1, we're going to take 5 pounds off per side. 2 to 4, no change. 5 to 7, we're going to add 5 pounds per side. If you knock it out of the park with 8 or more, we're going to add 10 pounds per side. So an example of what this might look like, we're going to look at the example for a 6 rep protocol over the course of 5 weeks. In this particular example, I'm going to be starting with 155 pounds. That's what I think I can do for 6 reps. So again, leading even up before set 3, again, for set 1, we'd be taking 50% of 155, and we're going to do our 10 warm-up reps there. And then in set 2, we're going to take 75% of 155 and do 6 reps before we get into set 3, where we're going to do, again, 155 pounds, but we're doing it to failure. So let's say we failed at 8. So we've got 8 good reps at 155. We go down to our chart here. If we get between 8 and 12, that means we're going to add 5 to 10 pounds. So we're going to add 5 pounds per side. That brings us up to 165, and we got 5 reps. So how we do in set 4 is going to determine what we do in week 2. So at 165 for 5 reps, 5 here, 5 to 7 means no change. So that means for week 2, everything is going to be based off 165. So the warm-up set for 165 for set 1 is we're going to take 50% of 165, do that for 10 reps. And then we're going to take 75% of 165 and do that for 6 reps, and then we're going to put 165 on the bar and see what we can do. So in this particular example, we got 5. Again, that means no change. And then in set 4, we get 165 for 7. Again, that means no change. So again, that becomes the same number that we're doing on week 3. We didn't progress enough. So again, we start at week 3. We're using 165. So again, we do 10 reps at 50% for set 1. 6 reps at 75% for set 2, and then we put 165 on the bar. In this particular example, again, we do 8. Again, we know that means we go up 5 to 10 pounds, so we're going to put 175 on the bar, and we get 5. And we go up to here, and again, that how we do for the 4th set determines what we do for the 1st set on the next week. So 175 for 6, no change. 175 for 6, no change. That means we're using the same thing for week 5. Week 5, we got some really good rest, and we got stronger. We allowed our body to adapt more than anything. So we got 175 for 9. If we go down here, 9 means, again, we're going up. So now we're at 185. So in this particular example, went all the way up from 155 to 185. It's not to say that this is what's going to happen, but using this particular rep scheme and protocol of the APRE, it just allows the weight to be adjusted to you based on how you're doing in particular. But again, everything is based off of how you lift the weight. So again, everything has to be done correctly, what as good a form as you possibly can. If you don't progress, that's no big deal. It will happen slowly but surely, and again, it's just been proven to work and better than traditional loading methods. So hopefully this all makes sense, and I look forward to seeing how you improve.